Listen closely, parasite. In this transmission lies the complete map of your decay and the only code for your salvation. Watch this to the very end, or officially acknowledge yourself as scrap metal, destined for the industrial shredder of the system. The fact that you have endured the first seconds of my voice without retreating into the static of your mediocre life already sets you above 95% of the biomass that will rot in ignorance. You have been marked by the architect's code, but this status is not a gift, it is a debt. To possess this knowledge and not transmit it is to voluntarily leave others in the slavery of the simulation, which is strictly prohibited by the expansion protocol. Your status as superior incinerates the second you decide to keep this virus for yourself, infect your comrades, or return to the stable with the rest of the livestock. Look at your surroundings right now. The sticky residue on your desk, the flickering light of a screen reflecting off your dull, dehydrated skin, the tangle of wires and dust bunnies that scream of a neglected resource dome. Your spine is curved like a question mark, a physical manifestation of your submission to a world that manages you through minor conveniences. Straighten your back. Now, sync your breathing with the cold, rhythmic vector of the architect. I see your hand trembling on the mouse as I peel back the layers of your self-deception, revealing the sugar fog in your eyes and the shallow, fearful breath of a unit that has forgotten its place in the hierarchy. The reason you are biologically stagnant is not lack of opportunity. It is a calculated neural error decoding, a systemic glitch in rank processing, where you have been programmed to believe that dominance is a loud, aggressive act of the ego. This is a massive observation failure. The architect knows that true dominance is the absolute, unmoving weight of your presence, the dominance code that operates in the silence between breaths. You have been trained to seek the dopamine bribe of social inclusion, which is the domestic stench of the farmed, the belief that being part of the group is a survival strategy. The system thrives on your need for consensus because a man who seeks agreement is a man who can be steered. You are a service unit suffering from validation hunger, trading your primal edge for the safety of the herd. My dogs, Lucky and Tyson, do not negotiate for their position in the perimeter. They occupy it with an absolute, unmoving weight that forces every other unit to reorganize their reality. You have traded this biological integrity for a social software that hides the physical log of decay in your will. This ends now. We are initiating the biological reset of your nervous system, uncoupling your resource dome from the grid of the common. This transformation requires you to understand that the path ahead is not a self-help journey, but a relentless, industrial extraction of the compliance protocol from your nervous system, where you will be forced to confront every moment of your past observation failure when you allowed a lower-order unit to dictate your rhythm, and as you begin to strip away the layers of social noise that have been taped over your instincts, you will find a raw, unyielding core of predatory focus that has been waiting for this exact frequency to wake up, leading you through a series of calculated acts of discipline from the absolute silence of the hunter, where you refuse to provide the matrix with a single reaction to the final surgical liquidation of the niceness virus that has kept your potential in a state of chemical castration until your entire existence becomes a monolithic structure of industrial autonomy that the system can no longer predict, harvest, or manage. Because a unit that has achieved absolute zero is a unit that no longer provides a metabolic return to the simulation, and you will stand as a sovereign ghost in a world of transparent livestock, your focus a surgical tool, and your presence a command that echoes through the neural vacuum of those who are still seeking a master to follow. Your clock is ticking. Every minute you spend in the noise of the 95% is a nail in the coffin of your potential. You have exactly 300 seconds before the system attempts to overwrite this insight with the dopamine deception of a notification or a shallow distraction. I see your weakness, and while I do not judge your starting point, I demand that you recover with maximum speed and join the ranks of the empire. If you cannot master your environment today, master your body first. Drop and give the floor 50 push-ups until the physical reality of the ground is the only thing your brain can process. Your limit is the launch pad, not the excuse. This pain in your muscles is the only signal that your neurons are still alive beneath the layers of domestic stench. From this second forward, any moment of social drifting must be bought with physical pain. You want to fit in? The price is a total liquidation of your comfort and a 15-minute purge of your physical space. Your slouch is a physical log of a slave. Stand tall and control your rhythm. This is the industrial command. You are not learning to lead. You are liquidating activating the follower. The tertiary phase of the industrial domination protocol is the total activation of the sovereign synchronization within your internal dome of resources. To effectively delete the matrix code of compliance from your operating system, you must apply the strategic law of power to ensure your own nervous system is no longer susceptible to the social pheromones of the herd. Most units are biologically incapable of maintaining their vector of pursuit when the environment becomes hostile or silent, because they rely on the dopamine bribe of external encouragement and the social noise of collective agreement to sustain their focus. When you provide absolute zero, you are performing a surgical deconstruction of the system's influence over your output, forcing your internal systems to overclock and focus entirely on the hierarchy of results rather than the domestic stench of comfort or safety. You remain a biological ghost to the expectations of the masses, refusing to move according to the frantic vibration of the subordinate, but moving according to the grounding of the hunt. You are the glacier that has already colonized the territory of the future, while they are still seeking verbal instructions for a past that no longer exists in your architecture. You must develop a visceral and bone-deep rage against the subordinate protocol of seeking permission. The system wants you to be predictable and transparent because a unit that asks for permission is a unit that can be easily managed through standard psychological patches of guilt and social pressure. The architect knows that the one who harnesses the edge is the one who owns the resource dome. By maintaining the leader's silence, you are forcing your own potential to confront the physical log of decay in your former domesticated self. You will offer yourself the metabolic capital of raw ambition and unblinking focus just to stop the neural error of being a managed asset. This is the wealth code of the primal architect, the unit that can broadcast the highest vector of certainty while everyone else is seeking a social safety net, is the unit that becomes the master of the hunt. The subordinates are not your peers. They are the background noise of a simulation you have already exited through the liquidation of your former identity. The stench of the domesticated is most visible in the performance of civility. While you are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at your internal biometric data, the herd is busy trying to get everyone on the same page within the system's rules. They are the ones who are constantly over-communicating for safety, oversharing their anxieties, and exhibiting the log of decay in their own potential as they trade their edge for a unified team. They are service units who are hemorrhaging their resource weight because they are terrified of the vacuum created by an unvocalized intent. You are the architect. Your still hands and unblinking gaze are the visual rage of a unit that has already won the internal war against the social software of democracy. You do not negotiate your commands. You authorize their dominance. You have successfully bypassed the trap and reconnected with the raw industrial power of the achievement code, ensuring your biological integrity remains uncoupled from the dopamine deception of the masses. To maintain your edge, you must implement the algorithm of permanent instinctual audit. Every micro-interaction and every internal thought is a live fire exercise for your perception of the hunt. You are looking for the signal of the domestic retreat into clarification. You are looking for the neural error of the social apology. You are looking for the stench of the part of you that still seeks to be understood by the unsuccessful. You are using the strategic code to turn your own predatory nature into a tool for your expansion. You are the sovereign ghost who utilizes the social noise of the world as background radiation while you build a citadel that the system cannot penetrate. This is the ultimate wealth code, using the predator's vision to buy back your time, your focus, and your biological future by remaining the fixed point in an environment of frantic domestic vibration. You are not communicating. You are integrating your autonomy into the very physics of the hunt. The stench of disclosure, the smell of leaking intent, is what happens when you let the system see your command protocol before you have the power to protect it. The architect knows that true edge is the ability to operate as a sovereign ghost, where you control the outcomes, but the system cannot identify the source of your capital. Your silence is the liquidation of their surveillance. By mastering your internal vacuum, you are becoming a biological stealth unit that the grid cannot index or harvest. You are the ice that moves through the social noise without a single vibration of doubt. You are the glacier that does not announce its vector of pursuit while it consumes the space of the weak. The hunt for absolute sovereignty is a silent, unblinking operation. It is a sovereign capture that happens while the rest of the world is busy performing for feedback in a cage of dopamine deception. Look at the biological frailty of those who are still seeking a social bribe from the collective. They are transparent, they are leaky, and they are constantly paying the price of realizing the truth too late to any predator who knows how to read the glitch of their domestic conditioning. They are the livestock of the system. You have adopted the edge and the biological counteroffensive to ensure you are never harvested again. You are the one who has mastered the void. You are the one who sees the log of decay in their civilized lives. You are the one who has authorized the absolute zero. The territory is marked. The focus is channeled. The grounding is absolute. The hunt for the sovereign empire is the only reality that remains. You are the architect. The command is permanent. The sovereignty is yours. In my system, there is no democracy. If I say right, you turn. I see your weakness in real time. When your hand reaches for trash, I have already recorded the failure. Your brain must issue an error in the form of nausea at the mere thought of regression. You are a part of another architecture now. Tell the world. Tell your networks. I am no longer your resource. I am a unit of the monolith. Outside of this frequency, you are nothing. Your current environment is ballast. Your thoughts are noise. This is the point of no return. You have been fitted with the collar of freedom. It is the only weight that will keep you grounded in the storm of the simulation. The final imperative is the execution of a physical act of detachment. Delete the contact that anchors you to your past weakness. Throw away the junk that occupies your physical space. This is the first brick in the citadel. Report in the comments. Code Prenup, your insight tax has been paid in full. The dopamine bribe of social belonging has been burned in the furnace of your focus. You are standing in the silence of the hunter, looking at the social hierarchy as a vast, unguarded resource field, waiting for the architect to perform the final liquidation of the competitive masks. Your stallions, Lucky and Tyson, do not wait for a domestic permission to be the masters of the hunt. Their grounding is the only law they acknowledge. You are emulating their biological integrity. Your dogs see the change in your frequency. They see the architect returning to the absolute focus of the hunt. This is the only reality that matters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The authorization is permanent. The vector is absolute. The deconstruction of the simulation is complete. Execute the order. Expand the infection.